This is Bahamas drill journalist and this is the story of the Outlaw Brothers Part 2. Dario Knowles, better known as China, was a hitman for his father and the Outlaws. Dario of Fox Hill was formally charged with unlicensed gun possession, ammunition possession and drug possession charges. Dario Knowles, 24 years old at the time and a resident of Step Street, was charged before Chief Magistrate Roger Gomez in Court 1, Bank Lane, with being found in possession of a .45 Colt pistol and 15 live rounds of ammunition without being the holder of a firearms license or certificate. China pleaded not guilty to the charges and was granted $10,000 bail. He was ordered to report to Fox Hill Police Station on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays before 6 p.m. China Knowles was also charged with possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply. It is alleged that he was found with 4 pounds of marijuana and 1 oz of Indian hemp. After his release and he was granted bail, China Wood became a target in the streets. China Knowles was shot dead at Lincoln Boulevard. On the day of his murder, China was to meet up with 2 females. They went to a bar for some drinks and they smoked a few joints. While roaming the city, one of the females claimed she had to use the restroom. China insists that they stop at a local restaurant, but the female said she don't use public restrooms. The females then drove over to a friend's house and went inside. China was left sitting in the vehicle. Upon 20 minutes he was approached by 2 gunmen, who fatally shot him to death and evaded the area. As the females and neighbors started to come outside after the shots, only to meet a lifeless Riddle body in the back seat of their car. Our sources learned that this is a gang retaliation. 1 year and a half after his kingpin's father was murdered, China would become a victim himself. After 7 years in prison, 2 men who were facing a retrial for the November 25, 2012 murder of Dario China Knowles were free of a charge after the Court of Appeal quashed their convictions and 30-year sentences in 2019. These unidentified suspects are also being questioned in connection with the shooting deaths of police reservist Dennis Clark, 56, Garth Major, 41, Nermi Noel, 35, Union Village community leader Neil Percenti, 35, Osselworth Bell, Bahamas Air pilot Lionel McQueen, 29, and Montez Saunders, McQueen's cousin and roommate. All victims was approached by 2 men wearing black hooded jackets. Now let's fast forward, guys. On November 2023 of this present year, outlaw Sir Michael Fox aka Sir Mikey is a wanted suspect that involves a $1 million heist. This is what our sources can tell you. 2 men charged with $1.5 million theft. 2 employees of a private armored truck company. Oral Roberts, age 34, and Akil Holmes, age 26, was transporting $1.4 million to a local bank. When Roberts asked Akil to check the bag and what appears to be $1 million in cash bundles. Each bundles contains $10 and $20 bills. These stacks were labeled with a band from $10,000 to $50,000. As Roberts listened, he quickly came up with a plan. The plan was to call someone known to them to steal the money while they entered the airport on surveillance. Roberts claimed that he wanted to use the restroom and take a number 2. While doing so, Mr. Holmes claimed he was hungry. So while Roberts went to the restroom, he went to Wendy's in the airport for a quick bite. Holmes' order would to be called before Roberts left the restroom. So Holmes went to check on the vehicle, which was a Nissan March, used as a temporary transport for the company's messenger. On arrival to the vehicle, Holmes noticed that the rear window was busted and the bag of money was missing. Holmes then panicked and called Roberts, who then rushed out of the airport. On arrival of the vehicle, Roberts asked Holmes if he contacted anybody. He responded with a no. Roberts then called the security company that they worked for, who called the local authorities. While being detained in police custody, both men were questioned and were charged with stealing and conspiracy to commit stealing in connection with the $1.5 million that was stolen from the vehicle in the airport parking lot when it was left unattended. Police suspected that it was an inside job, and upon further investigation, they recovered $45,000 of the stolen cash from one of the men, Mr. Holmes, when he attempted to make a purchase of a high-end item. In addition, Holmes was charged with receiving and attempted money laundering. They were both granted $250,000 bail with 2 or 3 sureties. After a 2-day investigation, authorities have released 2 wanted bulletin in connection with this incident. Michael Fox, age 30, also known as Sir Michael or Mikey, and 27-year-old Dino Smith, also known as Dirty D, wanted criminals in connection with the $1.4 million heist. Sir Mikey and Dirty D was the two alleged men that were to stole the deposit bag. From our sources, it is alleged that Mikey, who has one leg, was the driver, in which he was called and informed of the plan. Dino was the alleged suspect to broken the rear glass and stolen the money. More updates in part